Hi, my name is Hope Stoll. I am a mom of 4 beautiful girls, and they are 3 and under, so I know a thing about the reality of stress in itself. I am also a doTERRA wellness advocate and a silver leader. And basically what that means is I help to educate others on how to achieve their highest state of wellness and health. So today I'm going to be doing that through just taking you through steps that have helped me in my life but have been proven to help others with their life and de-stressing it. So I'm going to help you to regain some control there and de-stress yourself. I'm going to do this through giving you a free workbook, which hang on till the end of this video because I'm going to give you the link to go download your free workbook. And in this workbook, you're going to have all the exercises that I cover with you today. So just to go over that later. I'm also going to teach on some health tips that you can implement to help de-stress your life. And of course, I'm going to teach about essential oils you can use to help de-stress your life. So the first section that I'm going to teach on is going to be more of a seasonal de-stress practice for you. It's going to have the exercises in the workbook, but think of this as something you're going to want to do maybe 3 to 4 times a year, 6 months maybe, as needed, and it's going to be a heavier work exercise for yourself. So if you haven't done this before, go ahead and go through all of the exercises in the workbook. And then after you've maintained some of these, you're not going to need to use them as often, but it definitely helps to get your life under control. The next section that I'm going to teach on in this video is going to be the lifestyle improvements that you can make to lessen stress. And then it's going to have some exercises in that section, but those are going to be ones that are really simple and easy for you to do on a daily or weekly basis, however often you need that. And then, of course, we're going to cover essential oils and which ones to use for what types of stress. So, why essential oils? There's actually a great science of this. Science shows that essential oils do help the body. Essential oils are excellent supporters for effectively reprogramming the stress response on a chemical level. So, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But to keep it simple, stress in its simplest form is a chemical molecule carrying information to the cells itself. So from the cell, you're going to have your energy and your mood affected. And essential oils can really come in and they actually help repair the receptor sites of that cell and help that information to go out smoothly and to even reprogram a little bit the story that your body is getting. So it's excellent for that. All right, so what is stress? Stress is the body's response to either overwhelming stimuli or worrisome circumstance. Think of it as like an indicator light in your car, and it's telling you to service your body's engine. So you can have 2 responses. You can either ignore this light that you're getting, and I don't suggest doing this because continued or chronic stress can cause neuron dendrites in the brain to be destroyed and the immune system to be repressed. So we don't want that, okay? The second option is that you choose to service your engine and you deal with it up front. You help by attending your body's needs. I like to think of this as necessary repairs. I know I'm going to have to pay the price at some point, so I would prefer to take my car in to have it serviced, or for my stress, my health, to go ahead and deal with it on the front end. It's going to cost me less, and it's going to take less time, and I'm going to feel better. I'm going to run and operate at a higher state in life. And it's the same for our bodies as it would be our cars. So I encourage you to not postpone that. And of course, the exercises in the workbook, it's going to feel a little bit heavy or maybe a lot at first when you're first doing this. But when you dig through the garbage and you keep it clean, it's very easy to service your engine on a daily or weekly basis and just keep things running smoothly. And you know you want that in life. So the first step for this big haul that you're going to be doing is prioritizing. So you're going to prioritize what is most meaningful to you in life. Nothing is chance. So if you neglect to prioritize and allow for compromise, then you are choosing to allow the urgent and the pressing things of each day to run your life rather than you running your life. And those most important things to you, they're going to hit the wayside and you're going to miss out on that. So prioritize what are the important things to you and the essential list. Step number 2, there is no such excuse as lack of time. Oh, I forgot to tell you which one this is. It's figuring out your boundaries. Figure out your boundaries. So, and I'll tell you a little bit more on this exercise, but let me cover real quick. I've heard before, I don't have time to do such and such. There's no such excuse as lack of time to make the priorities that we've just talked about, your most important things, happen. So if you're not getting to your highest priorities, you're either not structuring your time correctly to serve those priorities, or deep down, consider, are they really your true priorities? Figure out your boundaries, or figuring out your boundaries will help you to structure your time to always serve your greater priorities. Pressures do not let outward or inward pressures be the thing that you let have a voice in your life when it comes to your highest priorities. And just evaluate where those pressures are coming from and why you're allowing that when you're figuring out your boundaries. Because honestly, you need to look at what causes you to neglect that essential list for your life. So it's what causes you to neglect the highest, most important, meaningful things in your life. And then the essential list too, like your physical health care, your spiritual care, your self-care, your care of your family, your priority relationships in your life, those things. So figure out what is causing you to neglect those things and your most meaningful priorities. Write those down if you can. And again, there's a workbook that you can take to go through this. And the second part of figuring out your boundaries. And think of boundaries, they're not to like deprive you of what's out there, they're actually to help you live within your best state of mind. So I know some personalities, they're like, oh, you're constraining me. But honestly, you're constraining yourself if you're going all over the place. So here's some boundaries to consider after you've made that list. Social media boundaries. This means times that you check your social media, what you allow yourself to see in your newsfeed. Use the unfollow button, people. If there's someone who has a drag in your life or negative newsfeed or just stuff that's just not adding to your life, it's not benefiting you, they're not encouraging you, then unfollow them. And when you think about that person, go and check on them. Actually get in there and kind of do a recap of their week or their day or whatever. And then maybe message that person. Do real connections that are meaningful versus thumbless, mindless scrolling and half of it being stressful and negative to your health. So use that unfollow button. And then also who and how often you respond to messages, needs, or pressures of others. If you're like me, you may have trouble saying no or not opening that message and not getting back to people right away. But you really have to decide who has priority of your time and put limitations on that, because you're overdoing and you're going to be stressing yourself out in that one area. The other thing for boundaries is negative people in your life. I like to call these people porcupines. We love them, but sometimes if you get too close, it's going to hurt you. So evaluate people who drain you, who maybe attack you, in general leave you feeling stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, or fearful. Limit your time with these people. When you do encounter them, or if you want to do anything with them, it needs to be on your own terms, on your own platform, and then the way that you are most comfortable with. So I like to prefer like a designated place and time, and that allows me to basically leave when I need to leave and get out when I need to, and get unconnected. And this is just really to protect your emotional health and your well-being, because if that person's going to be someone that you're endangering yourself to become stressed just by getting together with them, you need to have a good way to exit before then. So, for instance, that might be someone you go to meet at a local place that you can easily, have an event right after that to go to, so you can't delay, and you have something to go to and run to if you need to break that connection before it gets, bad. So consider that. The third part of the boundaries or subpart is limiting your calendar. So this means limiting your yeses for work, volunteer work, service, social events, and really just getting an eye for like how much you can do in a given week without giving up your highest, most meaningful priorities in life, which again is all your health stuff, it's all your meaningful priority relationships, which I would encourage you to write that down too in the workbook and you go through that. So definitely do that, and kind of, it takes a while, just playing around. Everybody's different. Some people can do 3 things a week. Some people can do something every day. It just really depends. But if it's causing you to compromise your best, most meaningful things in life and your health, then it's time to take a step back from some of that. And I'll cover some more in step 5 on that. Okay, so step 3 is determine the root of your stress. And this kind of goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. But are there situations, people, or events that make you nervous, anxious, or fearful? So write these down. These might be ones that you should first take out of your calendar or put parameters or boundaries on when you meet that person. So definitely do this list. Step 4 is practice saying no. So are there things that perhaps should be a no in your life? Make a list of these. Adding one more thing to your to-do list will not ease your stress. By saying yes to everything, you are actually saying no to other things. So this might be possibly your best thing, or your place of genius, or your purpose and calling in life that you're saying no to because you can't say no to the urgent or the little opportunities that come your way. So really think about stuff before you say yes to everything. Staying busy for the purpose of being busy is just a distraction in life, okay? And it's noise, and it adds to our stress, and it devalues our life. So say no. And then another thing, okay, just because you've done it the past 10 or 30 years in your life does not mean it's a good reason to keep doing it. So really evaluate. Is it time to say no? Is it time to cut it out? Step 5. I think I covered everything. Yes, step 5. Okay, detox your life. What or who needs to go? What is the time for you to stop doing and attending, seeing, or investing in? It could be something you're investing in. So just think about what needs to go. Are there toxic people, toxic events, toxic habits? We're thinking kind of toxic and negative here. What is simply not aligned or serving your highest value in life or your highest vibrant life? What can you take out of your schedule that is no longer serving you? Tip, this might even be a good thing, but it's just not the best thing. Or maybe it's not the timing for you yet. So don't miss the best over what is just simply good. All right, the next section, we're going to hit lifestyle. So these are steps to improve your lifestyle and reduce stress. Those are probably the hard section of the workbook as far as spending time to really contemplate and work through the questions and write it down. You're going to have all of this in your journal workbook at the end. So step 1, though, for up-leveling your health in your life that's going to help you with stress is water. Simple. Water. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day. This will begin to shift things for you physically. And when things shift for us physically, it actually helps us emotionally, and it can help lessen stress within our body and in our mind and emotionally. So I use lemon essential oil in my water daily, and I think it just helps with flavor. It helps to be able to drink more water when it tastes good, and it has some great detoxing properties. So it keeps my body running really well, helps gently detox my body on a daily basis. But it also really helps if you're going through a season of you need to detox some toxic people in your life, maybe some toxic events in your life. It can really help to support you there emotionally and mentally to make those good choices for your life. Step 2, physical activity. I know a bunch of you already know this, but exercise is so good for you, and especially when it comes to stress. So being physically active every day has been shown to reduce stress levels of all types. Consider this, taking yoga, because it's calm and it's grounding on the mind and the body. You can also consider regular practice of, I'm probably going to screw up the wording of this, how it's pronounced, but the Karani. And basically it's a yoga pose that allows the mind and the body to relax. It relieves stress and tension in the body, mind, and it's just a great practice. And again, I'm going to link a tutorial little video in the workbook so you can actually check these out and dive into some of that. All right, if stress is a problem for you, exercises you want to avoid are going to be things like marathons. These types of exercises, since they cause cortisol levels to basically rise over lengthy periods of time and stay there, it can trigger the stress hormone, cortisol thing, and that can lead to weight gain, but it also leads to just being kind of in a stress state, an extensive stress state of the body, and that's not going to help you to be more calm. So that's the kind of exercise that you would want to avoid, is marathon. Now, there's different exercises with intensity that you may not want to get into, but that's the main one. And again, I would say do something like yoga or walking. A couple of oils that can really help with this as you're up-leveling your exercise and your health that way is I use Deep Blue. I am a big fan of Deep Blue oil. It gets all those aches and discomforts, and it prevents me, honestly, from hurting my muscles the next day. When I'm tense and I'm tight and I hurt, I've noticed that I tend to do things more wrong, and then I injure myself. So I also use Aroma Touch if I'm going to be looking for more of a massage effect at night, and that can help me to rest better that night, but also it just relaxes all the muscles and I feel great the next day. Balance Blend essential oil. This one I diffuse, and I also use on the bottoms of my feet when I'm going to do yoga or anything of that type, because it's perfect for calming the mind and the emotions, and so it's just very grounding. So step 3 is sleep. Get an adequate 7 to 9 hours a night within a 24-hour window. This will reduce stress levels in your body and allow for your body to rest and repair itself. So I use lavender, and I also like using the blend called Serenity to help me sleep. Pro tip though, if you use lavender and it makes you feel more energetic or winds you up, you want to start using wild orange at night. There's a few people that sometimes lavender does this to, so if you're in that few, no worries, you're just going to want to switch that to wild orange and you'll sleep like a baby. So I diffuse, and I also sometimes put like a drop on my pillow or on my feet at night to just promote sleep. Step 4, eliminate stimulants. So this is going to be caffeine, sugar, alcohol, that, just stuff that unnecessarily stresses out your body and puts a stress on it. And stimulants are one of those things. Instead of stimulants, I will use Mito 2 Max, which is a supplement that boosts your energy production. It's safe. It's a very safe supplement. Mamas can use it, and it will support your mitochondria production. So you won't be just giving yourself a boost in energy and a high. It will have no low and no drop like other fake stimulants, but you're also supporting that production, that cell production of energy. So you're going to have and experience better energy over time of using this because you're going to get stronger there. I also use Slim and Sassy oil, and this I use to help reduce sugar cravings particularly. You can use it to take back control of lots of different cravings, but that's the main one that I use it for. You could also diffuse grapefruit essential oil, and that's just the oil for honoring the body. So as you're making better choices. Step 5, focus on what you consume. So of course that means clean eating, whole nutrient-dense food. But consider using Trim Shake is what I use from doTERRA, and I like it because it's a clean source of protein, plus it has ingredients to actually help manage the stress hormone cortisol. So that's a win. And ashwagandha root, if you don't want to do that, protein mix, ashwagandha root helps to manage the stress hormone cortisol. So that's something you could try. I also use supplements. So supplements are definitely a need. Even if you eat really healthy, you need supplements. Do your research on that. You'll find you do. I use doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality supplements. So that's a 3-pack supplement. The Microplex BMZ is a food nutrient vitamin. It has 12 servings of your daily vegetables when combined with all of the other supplements. It has folate versus folic acid, which if you don't know that, folic acid is just a synthetic form of folate, and your body really doesn't even use that. So when you're looking at supplements, that is one way you can spy a genuine, good for your body supplement versus the synthetic stuff that really you're just paying for expensive urine. Your body's not going to use that. So do check the backs, your ingredient list for your supplements. I also use the XE Omega as the second supplement that comes in this pack, and it is an antioxidant support. It has omega fatty acids. It supports healthy skin, hair, nails, and brain function, emotions. Alpha CRS Plus, that's the third supplement that comes in this pack. It protects against oxidative stress, free radicals, and it protects DNA. It also provides support to the mitochondria, which is your energy production, and other critical cell functions. So I love this supplement pack. I feel like it really services my body on all the different levels that it needs. And the difference with doTERRA supplements versus others that I've seen and used is that for one, you get results. And for two, these supplements are made in its food form. So it actually, your body is designed to break down food and use that. And that's exactly what these supplements package it as. And so your body knows exactly what to do with it versus others. The body doesn't really know, and it just passes it through urine, and it's really expensive. Step 6 for de-stress is have a gratitude practice every day. I think one of the best ways to do this, what's worked for me, is to have a gratitude journal. So journal about just one thing. I mean, you can journal more, but just try to pick one at least and write more in a sentence form versus a bullet point. And that's actually going to help you to connect better with your gratitude and really feel that. And when we have gratitude, we actually, our stress levels lessen. So make that a practice to help lift your mood. And really, most people find themselves thinking on the problems of life and throughout the day and just the worries. And that kind of thinking only feeds negative thoughts and fuels stress. So if you can start the day particularly with going to gratitude first, you may be able to change some of the stress that you're having. You might not be able to change the circumstance, but maybe it's causing you some stress or some worry, but you can change your thoughts, and those thoughts may just change your circumstance for you without you even really realizing it. And I've had a few times when that's happened, and it's really cool to see how that connects. But do the gratitude. And there's a journal in there that you can use in the workbook. So stay tuned for that link. Step 7 is, and this is something that you can use as often as you need to. So you've already done the previous steps where you really dug through the garbage and the trash that's in your life, and you're really eliminating some of that. Step 7 is regular brain dump practice. So this can be daily or weekly or however often you need, but you're going to brain dump on a piece of paper. Just write everything that's stressing you out, that's on your mind, maybe just distractions. And then you're going to divide and conquer your stress. So how this is going to work is after you've brain dumped, you're going to categorize these into 2 different categories. One is going to be outside my control, and the second category is going to be inside my control. So outside things are necessary tasks that are survival related, like work, meals, payments, things that you cannot avoid, okay? It's part of being alive. So this may be a circumstance or a situation that also came up or happened to you or a loved one of yours. So that would also qualify. Number 2 is inside your control, and this would be things like schedules, events, states, statuses, dishes in the sink or water on the floor, clutter, procrastination on the to-do list, work, overworking or annoyances to paper, work projects, lingering, all that kind of stuff. Those are all things that are within your control. And doing this exercise really just, I think, helps to understand how much is in your control. And the part that is, the previous exercises are going to really help if you take that through and really take a fine comb through that. And then the part that isn't, if you're applying that gratitude journal perspective, you're going to find that it works on that number 1 category. So step number 8 is declutter mind and spaces. So did you know that studies have been done and they found that people who live in cluttered areas have a higher stress state, particularly in the kitchen area for women. So some things you might want to consider doing is taking what's on the fridge and putting it, just a nice clean fridge front, put those pictures in a frame in the hallway, but declutter that space, your cooking area space, free of eye clutter, not just paper clutter. So visual clutter can make a big difference in your stress, and you may not even be noticing that, or you may not know that. So I'm telling you that so you can start, at least try it, see if it makes a difference. I have noticed a difference. So the stress can also be, I just lost my train of thought. Oh well, going on. So after doing the brain dumping, you're going to better determine where you can start and simplifying the stress causers in your life. So definitely take that. One note before I go on to the next slide. You are not a victim of your life and of your stress. If that's your mindset, just start rewriting that story. You are totally in control and you are running it. Yes, there's stress, and yes, there are things you cannot avoid, and there's probably a good bit that you can avoid that's still in your control. So the last thing you need to do is take the mindset of victimhood and surrender all control of everything and give up. So that's my kind of final notes on that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about essential oils, how they work with the stress. So stress is an emotion. It in the simplest form is a chemical molecule carrying information to the cells. The cell receptors receive the information, and from there your cell is going to use that information to direct and determine energy and your mood. Determining how your cell receives that information is going to determine the outcome, good or bad. Essential oils are very chemically complex. They are able to pass through the cell membranes, and it can detox a cell and promote the cell's natural healthy state. They can also repair the cell and its receptors. In other words, basically essential oils are the perfect stress or mood repair tool when your engine, the cell, is breaking down with all the information that it's getting, telling your body a message that results in an unhealthy state of mind, heart, and gut. So they can basically rewrite the message. They can help repair the body so it doesn't have damage from that stimuli. And then your mind, heart, and gut. These are the three emotion brains of the body. So you really want to, at the root of protecting the mind, heart, and gut, is really protecting the stress receptors of your cells. So essential oils, once again, are the perfect tools to use to help your body with that naturally. Okay, so I'm going to quickly cover 5 types of stress and how you can deal with each stress. So the first type is chemical stress. Chemical stress comes from air, food, water, things that you consume or use on your body, skincare products, synthetic scents, cleaners, etc. So lemon oil, essential oil, is perfect for this because it gently cleanses and detoxes the body, reducing your exposure to chemical stresses. And this would be in the category that we mostly can control. There are times that we go outside of our house that we can't always control what everybody else is using. But again, if you're using that lemon oil daily, that's going to help your body to flush that out a little bit better, and you can control that. So emotional stress is number 2. Emotional stress can come from work, family, friends, or even a perfect stranger. It can be an experience or a situation. For women, it can be part of the body's monthly cycle. So your hormones just being unbalanced. It can be lots of stuff like that. For emotional stress, I would turn to frankincense. It is very grounding emotionally and is calming to the mind and the body. People who do not deal with stress up front or develop chronic stress can sometimes develop less interest in life and lose pleasure in previously enjoyed activities and become withdrawn and negative in their feelings. If you are experiencing some of this downward spiral, frankincense is also one of the oils that I would use every day to start helping my body repair some of the damage. So, and there's lots of good research on frankincense with the body, and I just encourage you to go look at some of the research. It's great. The third stress type is environmental stress. Environmental stress, it's things that like happen to you. Curveballs in life. You spilled your coffee, the electricity's out, or stress, even stress of like the pollen in the air that comes around seasonally, weather that affects you, all these things. These are stressors that come at you. So the oil that is beneficial in this case is going to be peppermint oil. Your peppermint oil helps to release tension physically, but also emotionally as you encounter stress in your day. So peppermint supports respiratory system, easy breathing, emotionally freeing, and less claustrophobic feeling, and less trapped in life's stresses. So just like your physical body, when you use peppermint, you're going to notice your lungs kind of open up and it's easier to breathe. It's less heavy. It does that for you emotionally. Like, I can breathe in life. I can, deal with this. And it's freeing for us. The fourth is mental stress. So this is mind racing, mind overload, to-do list, stuff that, just goes through your mind. Not being able to shut the mind off. Multitaskers. If you're a multitasker, you're probably already operating in stress mode, because multitasking really does stress the mind more than you maybe even know. So lavender is the essential oil that I would use for this particular stress. It is calming to the mind and body. It can help repair the receptors. And if you're like me and you're a mom, you may not be able to not multitask, because honestly, there's a lot in life that I am required to, there's no choice about it. So, but if you do have a choice, try not to multitask. For you moms that are stuck multitasking, use this oil, because yes, you may be stuck multitasking, but this can really help you to deal with that part of your life. And it can also help you to turn off your mind in other areas too, when you really can stop worrying or going over things in your mind. So, number 5, performance stress. I think this gets a lot of us. So this is high expectations, which can lead to fear, frustration, which results in stress. The performance stress can come from work, a self-view, or what we should measure up to, influenced by words or social media, etc. For this kind of stress, you're going to need to use Manuka, also referred to as tea tree oil. So this is the perfect oil for addressing the underlying issue, which is a chemical one that is occurring in the mind and body. Manuka oil is great for confidence and feeling assurance and reassured. It's also a protective oil. So it works to not only protect your immune systems, but it also protects you from negative emotions. Isn't that awesome? So you'll be better able to feel released from the fear of performance and simply perform at your best. So it's really awesome for that. Essential oils are basically a speedy stress relief. They're not the only part or tool to the success that you want to achieve in just having a less stressed life, but they are a huge help in this area. Essential oils, just one drop is equivalent to 40 million trillion molecules. These tiny chemical compounds service every cell of the body in a matter of minutes. So using essential oils is very effective if you are wanting to service your entire body and service your entire body's engine, like we had talked about in the beginning. There are 3 ways that you can use your essential oils. Aromatically, which is to inhale them, diffuse them. Topically, to apply them to your skin. I always recommend diluting if you're going to use topical. Internal, so you can take them in water in a capsule or just under the tongue. But I do recommend that you only use doTERRAs like this, and it's because of their stringent testing. There are so many oils out there that just are not tested at all. There are no regulations on the oils. So that means you can be getting basically a perfume bottle and trying to ingest it. There are a few oils that, regardless if they're pure or not, you're not going to want to ingest. I love doTERRAs because they put it right there on the label so you can read it. It's either essential oil supplement or just essential oil, and if it's a supplement, it's safe to ingest. So, but a couple more reasons why I only use doTERRA. So, doTERRA has the standard, they've labeled CPTG, which is Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And in this, it means that you get third-party testing on all those oils, and they're unbiased testing, and you can even go to the third party is, if I can get the acronym right, it's APRC. So, and they test for lots of different companies and stuff, but they just verify that everything is pure and up to at least the purity and stuff like that. So, but with doTERRA, they also test things like everything has to pass that it was like grown in its indigenous home place, because it does better medicinally there. But then also like if a plant has drought or experiences some detrimental environment, stuff like that, the oil is going to be affected. It's not going to be 100% potent. So that's going to come up on the testing. So what it means is, like, you know without a doubt that it's always going to perform at 100% at its level. So you're not going to buy a dud oil and it, you know, last time it worked, but this time it doesn't, and you spent a lot of money, and people have done that. No, it's going to be the same across the board. So, and of course, the company, they test, like, make sure it's free of all the fillers and synthetics, and make sure it's still legit, because seriously, essential oils are so tampered with. Anybody can sell a perfume bottle and label essential oils. So don't just go to your drugstore. Really do your research, okay? When you're buying essential oils, especially if you're going to use it internally or topically. So that's pretty much it for the stress webinar. But make sure you go to the footnotes in my YouTube channel. There's going to be the workbook that you can take. You can download it to your device or print it off and work through all the exercises, and there'll be some videos to show you a few things on the yoga and things mentioned. I also have in the footnotes I have a link that you can go get your oils. If you want to get your oils and get the same discount that I have, go there and just make sure you go to the member or become a member tab, and that's going to ensure that you get your oils at a 25% discount. And also, it's going to give you, make sure that you have access to individual oil and wellness training. Also, if you want to connect with me, because I know some people may, shoot me an email. The link for my email is going to be also down below in the footnotes. I would love to hear from you anytime. And thank you so much for watching the Stress Less webinar.